In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boys, CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. We are getting it on this evening on a Tuesday evening. Miguelito, ¿cómo estás?
Que bolón, tiburón. Thought I'd just spice that up with the background today. So if you're not catching the hint,
take us off the screen real quick so we can show the people the background. Show the people what time it is. A little hint of a little something going on here. Go ahead and pull us off. Just a little sprinkle, a little something. We'll just leave it at that. We've got some artwork going on in the background, ladies and gents. So just if you don't know, now you know. Get in the Discord, follow Danger Close Alpha. We'd love to have you. We appreciate all the support that we have from everybody in here. Make sure that we jump in on all of the socials. Have some fun. Let's have a good night tonight. What is on the podium this evening, Miguel?
We've got Cardano pumping, dude. Massive skyrocket to the moon, Cardano, right? I think it went up like almost 53% in the last day or two. Crazy pumps. On top of that, we've got Bitcoin, and we've got some reasons that are unexpected, but expected from us on why Bitcoin might not have the move that we think it wants to have.
Yeah.
And I think that's it, right? Unless we got
we've got some info on CBDCs that we'll touch on briefly as well. But yeah, there's some interesting things going on. Stick around to the end, guys. There's some interesting information as it relates to Bitcoin and Danger Close Alpha. Like legitimately, the things we've been talking to you about are now affecting the Bitcoin markets. Don't say we didn't tell you, because we told you. So let's dive in. Let's check out where we are at with the markets overall. We have, let me update this. We are down 0.42%. We're at 1.31 trillion with a T, trillion with the T dollars, down 0.42%. ETH, I just started off with ETH because it's the best. 1953, down 2%. Bitcoin, 31,882, up about 0.5%. Tether, is it losing its peg? No, just kidding, guys. We're at 99.94 there, so we're doing okay. USDC holding strong at $1 as always. Being literally one of the only assets that was making some moves. So when I actually, just a quick little one-off here, when I exchanged, I sold out of that meme coin that I was in. I sold out of that yesterday, and the Grimace. And I was like, you know what? I don't have any exposure to BNB. And I believe in that asset long term. Let me just scoop up a little BNB. So I grabbed some BNB there. We've got Cardano. Going to be talking about this tonight at 63 cents, up almost 11%, up almost 22% on the week. And then XRP, we got green, baby. We like seeing that at 42 cents. And then rounding out the top 10, number 8, 9, and 10 are all down just a hair. But we've got Solana and Dogecoin rounding it out. So that's what the markets are looking like. Let's roll it back to number 6, and we'll start off. Let's kick it off with Cardano. First of all, before we get into it, Miguel, before we dive into the specifics of it, was this Cardano thing like seen, unforeseen, just one of those things that just happens and you just can't see it?
I think people that follow Cardano closely enough, I think Crypto Jebb is someone that talks about Cardano a lot.
Yeah,
and the price, they've definitely been following it, and I don't think it was unforeseen. I think they expected something like this to happen with Cardano.
Well, I'm interested to get into it. Let's check it out. Cardano bears are getting demolished as ADA spikes 40%. Look at that big old picture of Miguel being bearish. Fantastic. One of the most shorted and least profitable assets on the market, ADA, is bringing surprises for those traders who are trying to make a profit by pushing the asset further down. The profitability of the ADA shorting strategy just dropped to an extreme level. The amplitude downtrend on Cardano was potentially broken after the price of the asset spiked by around 40%. Such a strong price performance caused around $300 million in liquidations, which is a massive volume for a single coin. We have previously seen signs of a reversal on Cardano as the downtrend slowed down progressively with RSI entering the oversold zone. On May 28th, ADA's reversal began with the coin's upward volatility decreasing. Unfortunately, a 40% price spike is not enough to pull out ADA from the strong downtrend in which it remained for the last 270 days. Cardano's breakthrough, the price of 75 cents, would be one of the first signs of a trend reversal. Another signal suggesting that a reversal is around is the divergence between the relative strength index and the price chart. The indicator suggests that we will see a short or midterm reversal in the upcoming weeks. You know, I hold a nice little bag or two of Cardano, and it's hurt, right? Just kind of, hit you right here. But again, I don't think Cardano is going anywhere. I think long term, this is what we talk about all the time, Miguel. We talk about oportunidad. We talk about these as being opportunities, not a failure to thrive. It's just, hey, this is part of the market. People are going to get beat up. This is designed to wash out those weak hands, and it has been working. And now we see a massive amount of liquidations because so many people were trying to push the price down. At some point, it hits the wall, and I think it's hit the wall.
Yeah, dude, I'm not worried about Cardano. I've bought the majority of all my Cardano sub 30 cents a long time ago. I even was able to skip up some sub 10 cents for a while. And if it drops lower, I'm gonna pick up more Cardano. Look what Cardano has done. Cardano has this bull run finally releases smart contracts, finally done some things right. Now it has NFTs. Now it has its own its own DEX, and it's building its ecosystem finally. And it reached over $3 with just barely those things, right? They were just beginning. So between now and the next leg up in the market, the next big frenzy in the market, the ecosystem for Cardano is only going to keep building. Snoop Dogg just kind of teased at the fact that his son is super bullish on Cardano, and maybe possibly teasing the fact that he's going to do a drop, an NFT drop, something in the metaverse in Cardano, right? ADA. So that's going to bring more attention to the ecosystem being built in NFTs and in the metaverse for Cardano. So 100% bullish on Cardano long term, and they've got nothing to do but go up.
Big shout out to T Legit in the house. Loves him some Cardano. So shout out T Legit. Glad that you're here, brother. Haven't seen you in a little while. Hope you are doing well. Crypto Billy, thank you as always. You're always showing the channel support, always showing us love with the super chat. Thank you very much. Says always talking truth in the house. We appreciate the support, man. Thank you very much. All right, so let's talk about truth or fiction, fact or fiction. Let's dive into what the Fed paper looks at as it relates to CBDCs. So Fed paper looks at potential effects of CBDC on monetary policy. Y'all know we get into monetary policy. Let's check this out. On Tuesday, the United States Federal Reserve released a study on the possible effects of a retail central bank digital currencies, or CBDC, on U.S. monetary policy implementation. The study, dated April, was a staff working paper titled Retail CBDC and U.S. Monetary Policy Implementation, a stylized balance sheet analysis. Well, doesn't that sound cute? The paper considered 4 scenarios that illustrate the potential side effects, or the potential effects, rather, of a retail CBDC on monetary policy from the perspective of 3 stakeholder groups: the Fed, commercial banks, and U.S. households. The first scenario involved exchanging cash for CBDC, which affected the categorization of assets at the Fed and in the household involved, but had no effects on policy implementation. The following 3 scenarios showed a cascading effect that began with individuals withdrawing CBDC from a commercial bank when the money had been deposited as cash. Assuming fixed bank demand for reserves, the scenarios went on to discuss commercial banks' reaction to the reduction in cash reserves resulting from CBDC withdrawals. If those withdrawals led to a shortfall in reserves, banks have the choice of offloading certain securities or loans to build up their cash holdings again, or to increase deposits by offering more attractive terms on their products. That, in turn, could lead to higher short-term interest rates and reduce demand for CBDC by holding deposits in banks longer. I want to read a little bit more of this, Miguel, but just to clarify here, guys, we still operate on, and Miguel and I harp on this a lot, but a fractional reserve banking system. This, to me, when I read this, is a big load of hogwash, talking about the amount of, sorry, let me turn, my phone is going nuts over here. Talking about the amount of cash reserves and how, this is going to cause a big problems. We don't even have 3% of the cash reserves that we should have. So I don't know how there's a scenario in which these commercial banks have this terrible reaction of not having these cash reserves. They're freaking floating money that somebody else is printing that they don't even have anyway. I don't see how that hurts the banks at all. But then it goes in and it just says, hey, if interest rates rise too abruptly, the Fed could turn to the discount window and standing repo facility to moderate the rates. And if that fails, the next step would be reserve management purchases. These technical operations are discussed in some detail. I am not going to dive into all this, and quite honestly, there's probably a number of things on here that I don't even claim to understand, so I'm not going to act as if I do. But what I do know is that they're looking at how does this affect, if you look, they're asking, hey, how does this affect retail holders? How does this affect the Fed? And how does this, so retail holders are going to be U.S. households. How does this affect the Fed and then commercial banks? Miguel, why don't you take a guess? Out of the household, the Fed, and the commercial banks, what 2 out of 3 of those do you think they're probably more concerned about? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Dude, I mean, they're definitely not concerned about the household. Let's just start off with that. There's no way they're concerned with the household. They're going to spin it and tell you, yeah, we're going to try to help you. Yeah, we're trying to do this for the people. They are 100% not doing it for the people. They've been saying that same narrative for the past 2 years. And where has it gotten the people? Absolutely nowhere. We've only been digging the hole deeper and deeper and making it worse and worse for the people. But you know who's been making money? The bank, the Fed, right? The people at the top, they're not sweating it.
That's right. Their households are doing just fine, right? Oh, is it? Do you think it's because they can just like turn around and turn on the printer and just say, hey, we've got something for you?
Yeah, they don't need to save up money, right? They don't need to worry about credit cards. They got the unlimited credit card machine.
That's right. Turn it on and it's going. Though the CBDC thing is interesting because I have wondered, how does it affect? I want to take a brief pause real quick. We forgot, started the show. Just want to say what's up to the Candle Mafia in the house. If you guys are looking for more fun in the sun as it relates to getting into charts, go over, check out your boy Frankie Candles on BitBoy Crypto Show. He's on from 5:45 to 7:30. Make sure you guys check him out. But yeah, I've wondered, how do CBDCs directly affect people? Like, how does the rollout happen? Because I have to believe at some point they at least have to sell the idea that they are replacing the dollar. They can't. Here's what they can't say. They can't say, okay, we've got all these dollars in circulation. Now we're going to add to it CBDCs, because effectively you would be inflating the dollar even more. So there has to be some sort of an exchange. It has to be, right? Like essentially turning in your dollars for CBDCs. There has to be some sort of like a buyback or something of that, and I've wondered, how are they going to do this? Do you have any idea, Miguel? Like, I've not heard anybody talk about it. I have no idea what they're going to do.
I'm not 100% sure on how they're going to roll it out, but I know what they have been doing is we've been programming and priming people. Right now, money's already mostly all digital. Everyone has a credit card. Everyone has a debit card. Before, you're like, oh, you got to take your credit card or debit card and actually physically swipe it, right? It went from swiping to inserting the chip. It went from inserting the chip to just tapping it on the little payment thing. And now, and it's been around for a while as well, is you can digitally input your card onto your phone, right? Like Apple Pay, I think it's Google Pay or whatever it is as well. And you have your card digitally on your phone so that you don't ever have to physically carry your card anywhere. It doesn't get lost. It's more secure. It's more convenient, and people just tap their phone, bam, slam, and there it goes. So they're going to somewhere in all that convenience that we've already been so accustomed to, they're going to throw in the CBDC on how it's a way safer option for money. It makes everything more clear and concise and yada, yada, yada. They're going to spin it a way or another. It's going to be about convenience to the user. And they're going to be like, yeah, sure. It doesn't affect me. Yeah. Why not? I don't care.
Yeah. 2 things I want to point out. First of all, Crypto Billy, again, supporting the channel. Thank you again for the super chat. We appreciate you. And Miguel, I want to test your knowledge on this. Keep your hands off the keyboard. Warning, Will Robinson, warning. Where is can you call this? I actually don't know this for sure, but I think I know it. Do you know what that's from?
Will Robinson?
Warning, Will Robinson, warning. It is a quote, I believe, from Lost in Space. Crypto Billy, if it's from Lost in Space, tell me in the chat. Appreciate the love, brother.
I've never been
Just
lost in space, so
not yet, but we're headed there. And the other thing I wanted to point out was actually in regards to somebody that might be lost in space soon. Crypto Rob Father in the house says, funny, Muskrat said that it's time a bunch of bankruptcies should happen. I heard that,
yes,
and I thought that was interesting. And I think that it directly correlates to what we're talking about. I believe the quote was something to the effect of basically like too many people, and I'm not going to quote this correctly, but essentially what he was saying was there's too many people believing that they don't have to do hard work to earn money, and it's been too simple. Like, you know, we talked about in the crypto space. In a bull market, everyone's a genius, right? Everything I bought turned to gold, right? Well, the people that really are the geniuses that are the ones that are able to appropriately and effectively take profits, right? I don't even put myself in that category. I've screwed that up multiple times, right? I'm in this for the long haul. But I think it's interesting. They are putting it out there and saying, hey, we need, and this is one of the most brilliant minds probably around, that's saying we need a bunch of bankruptcies. Do we need a bunch of bankruptcies, like literally, or do we need a change in how we're operating our economy? I would argue that our economy needs to change, and probably a little bit of the
but Elon is
latter.
not the only person that I've heard say that. You know who else I heard? I don't know if people listen to him. His name is Patrick. Forget his last name. Hispanic guy. He's from Value Entertainment. Huge on YouTube. Huge on TikTok. Spanish entrepreneur. Looks Spanish or something. Entrepreneur guy called Patrick Bet or Patrick something. Forget what his last name is.
Okay.
Anybody can look up Value Entertainment. That's the name of his channel. Dude, he called for. He's saying that yes, we need to have massive bankruptcies. We need to see some of these big, too big to fail companies go bankrupt. See you later, to bring in better, more young flowing companies that are more efficient and do things better, because these companies have gotten too accustomed, like I said, to making easy money and kind of have a chokehold on the market. And it definitely needs to circulate some new blood into the system.
Yeah, and
a lot of people are looking out for big bankruptcies.
Well, you know, that actually leads us just directly into this final story, which is what you've all been waiting for. We're going to dive into Bitcoin, but this story real quick before we dive into it, this is the reason that you jump in to the Discord. Join Danger Close Alpha. You guys can see a little background action. Miguel, take us off the screen again real quick. Let people check out the little background, little Now, this has not been colored in yet. There's more to share here, but that's a little sneak preview. When we share the things that we share, it is not to fearmonger. It is not to scare anyone. It is nothing other than trying to help you get educated and allow us to be able to be a part of the community and help each other to expand and learn and get better and be prepared for our families. Okay. We're about to talk about Bitcoin as it relates to all of those things. So check this out. This is actually, when I read this, I was like, wow, we've been talking about this. Nobody else is talking about it, but we are. So hopefully that's why you guys follow and jump into the Discoin. That's Bitcoin. The Discord. Bitcoin price rallies to 32.3K. But 3 factors could limit its recovery. I wonder what those 3 factors could be, Miguel. I don't know. Let's take a look. Bitcoin price action has been surprisingly bullish since May 27th. Weekends, especially holiday weekends, are notoriously volatile and indecisive, with major whipsaws and price movements being the norm. Even in bull markets, bearish price action is often the norm, but Bitcoin bucked that trend. Bitcoin rallied nearly 11% between May 27th and May 30th, moving through the critical 28.6 level back above 30K up to 31.7. The weekly close was the highest close of the past 20 days, and it gave bulls the strongest 3-day run in over 2 months. However, macroeconomic fears may weigh on any further upside potential. Dun, 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 dun. Number 1, global food shortage fears mount as commodities prices rise. That's supposed to say as commodities prices rise. They just don't spell check these things sometimes. The global food supply is a primary yet easily overlooked factor contributing to Bitcoin's future price potential. Since the beginning of the governments worldwide have shut down their seaports and airports, effectively cutting off and interrupting the flow of goods. This disruption will take years to return to normal, but that is not the primary cause of concern. In the United States, fertilizer costs have risen exponentially over the past 18 months. In January 2021, the fertilizer price index stood at $78.83 and is currently at $254.97, increasing nearly 225%. A combination of supply chain disruptions and continued shortages is likely to continue disrupting this market. Individual commodities prices continue to rise and are a primary contributor to the steady rise in inflation. In particular, wheat hit new all-time highs in February 2022 and remains near those all-time highs. In just 2022 alone, wheat futures have increased as much as 76% and over 143% in the past 18 months. Pause. Who's been buying up all the farmland, Miguel?
The one and only supreme leader, Bill Gates.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so you guys can take that for what it's worth. Oil futures continue to rise and are now trading at levels not seen since July 2008. There are broad concerns by traders and investors that oil may spike towards $150 per barrel once China ends its shutdown. When that occurs, demand will most likely, certainly, return and further impact oil. Equity markets around the globe continue to face significant pressure. Rising inflation, soaring commodities costs, supply chain disruptions, and the conflict in Ukraine have put risk on investors and traders on the defensive. Okay, that's it. I'm not gonna dive into the technicals of why that's going to push things further. We've had our boy Crypto Face on here, Miguel, and I know you remember he was talking about commodities. He was talking about oil. He was talking about wheat, right? We did talk about the food shortages. We're talking about these things because they matter. I think so many times people think that it is that the markets are in a vacuum, and they're not, right? The traders will say, hey, listen, we're only looking at the charts and what the past and what the trends say. The reality is some of these trends, a lot of these trends come from somewhere. And if you can't recognize the fact that food shortages are going to then like basically spill over into the rest of what's going on, then quite frankly, I think that you're lost. And so that's why we have been talking about, hey, how do we do better? How do we move forward? Which, Miguel, you can talk about it. That's why they also need to be at the Twitter space tonight, because we are talking about how these politicians have been fear-mongering all of you and us into being divided. And we want to come together. Make sure you guys are in the Twitter space tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, dude. I mean, people need to realize that, it's not just about the fear mongering or so forth, but it's the fact that traders at the end of the day, right? They're going to trade the market no matter what, whether it's going up or it's going down. They're going to long, they're going to short. They don't care what the news is. They don't care what's happening fundamentally around the world. And that's okay for them because they're traders. But for the average person that's not a trader, right? They need to worry about these things. They need to know ahead of time where things are headed so that they can prepare, right? We're talking about since the Ukraine invasion happened, we came out and said, hey, things are getting bad, right? They closely right after the invasion came out and said, hey, Ukraine, one of the biggest exporters of wheat, not going to be exporting anything because they got bombarded, right? China, very soon after that, said, hey, we're not going to export our fertilizer. What do we see in that article? Fertilizer prices through the roof. Wheat down, right? Not in price, but in production value. So no fertilizer exportation. Can't grow as much food as you want. Not enough wheat being produced. A lot less food being created, aka food shortages. We're already seeing supply chains since the beginning of the fog around the world being under tight constraints. People have become numb to this because it's been happening for 2 years now. They think that supply chains are back to normal. They are not. They are not. If you listen to the Federal Reserves every time they speak, they always mention supply chains, and they always mention if supply chains get better, then maybe inflation will get better. But we all know that that's not going to happen, and we're seeing more and more things. More gas prices going up, less trucks driving, less diesel, less whatever, less people supplying the supply chains, guys. It's basic math. You need to prepare for the worst case out there. join Danger Close Alpha. Join the Twitter space today. We're going to be talking about some heavy duty stuff in the Twitter space tonight.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're always going to be dropping you some exclusive art. If you guys were in the Discord, you would have seen this piece of art a few days ago already. So make sure you're in the Discord to see it first.
There's a whole story behind this art. So this is part of the story for Danger Close Alpha. It's 100 years after the book 1984. So if you guys are interested, check it out. We'd love to have you. At the end of the day, there is just the reality of the fact that we have problems, and the problems are being furthered and propagated from the fact that everyone is trying to, the politicians anyway, are trying to do everything they can to divide us. And this is not, listen, to be fair, I think all of you on this stream that have watched us for any amount of time probably know publicly, like politically, which way we lean. Okay. But it's not about right or left. It's really not. It's about division or coming together, and they're trying to divide, even from the right, even from the left, everywhere in between. It's all about division, and that's a problem. We come together as a community. This is what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about some very specific topics too. Okay, some of them are going to be touchy. I will tell you, we're not going to dive into very specific events as of late, but we're going to reference to some things, right? We're not going to get too wild with it or whatever, but what we want to do is bring people together. That's the goal. That's the reason that we're doing this NFT project, so that you can bring your family together and get your family prepared. And then we, as a family, can be together and be prepared. We're doing something unlike anyone else. That's why we're super excited, because we know that we're actually making a positive impact on lives, rather than just, hey, like, Miguel, let's have a chat about how we could maybe make a few dollars doing something, and let's get some cool art with it too.
Exactly right. This NFT is a movement, and it's going to actually help people in real life. And on top of that, the political stance that we're so famous, like everyone is so loves to grab into. It's almost like a reality show, right? Like, oh, they're left, or they're lean to the right, or what are they, and all this stuff. It's a show, guys. Political stances are nothing but a way to label you and divide you into, these are the good people, these are the bad people. We hate these people, we like these people. That's all BS, guys. That's all an illusion. Political stances are BS. It doesn't matter what your political affiliation is. You shouldn't be leaning or labeling yourself as one or the other. And I'm only gonna vote this way, or I only like these kind of people. It's about what these political figures are actually doing. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Biden up there. I just care what they do. And if they don't do things the way it's supposed to be done, or the way I like it, or the way it should be, right, for A, B, and C, that's good for the people, good for the Constitution, then they don't need to be there. That's all that matters, right? It's the Constitution, the basic terms of your rights. How are they protecting those rights? How are they furthering those rights? And how are they making sure that the people's interests are being make sure that they're being discussed and they're being pushed forward, not their personal interest. That's all that you need to focus on when it comes to politics.
That's one of the 3-day. That's actually one of the options for the 3-day boot camp was on, and I sat in on it. It was incredible. What was on the Constitution, and it was incredible. I learned a lot that I had no idea as it relates to not just our rights, but what the Constitution actually says. It gets misrepresented so often for like what's the word I'm looking for? Basically for like convenience. It's like, hey, this is convenient. I'm going to use this and I'm going to spin it this way. But if you know the history on the Constitution and what it was written for and what it really meant and who's who, it brings on a greater meaning. And that's what we want to bring to you, the people. We want to bring us back together. Stop dividing. We need to move forward as a team, as a unit. That's why we're doing the stimulus drop to start. As a reminder, for those of you that don't know, we're doing a 10,000 piece free drop. That's going to be happening. Word on the street is hopefully by the end of June. So watch out for that. That's a rumor I've heard. I don't know who told me that, but somebody did. And we're going to utilize that as basically commerce within our community. We're going to be able to buy, sell, trade, They're going to have different rarities, which is great. Then we have the bug out drop, which is going to be an exclusive drop that gives you utility like you have never seen before. And that's on one single piece. And then we will do chapter 1, because what we're doing is a story. It is a movement. It's not just a single piece.
And I just want to let people know that the bug out bag drop, right? That drop is going to be for the people that are here from the beginning, the people that are actually committed to this movement. That's why they're going to be rewarded with heavy amounts of utility on this NFT. It's going to be exclusive. It's going to be way, way smaller, right? It's sub 1,000, guys. We're doing a 10,000 drop for free, and we're doing a sub 1,000, very small in the hundreds numbers for this bug out bag. So only the people that move first, only the people that bug out first are the ones rewarded. And that's what that drop is going to be about, right? It's going to show who's actually part of the community and ready to build this community up and join the movement. So they're going to be rewarded the most. So make sure that you're in that drop, guys.
Absolutely. Guys, we love you. If nobody's told you that before today, when we tell, and I want to just say as a side note, we've been telling you that we love you for a long time. But when I say that to you guys, it means like, we love you. We care about you. We want to see the best for you. And that is, again, part of what we're trying to do is bring people together. There's too much division. So make sure you remember that. Do something good for somebody tonight. Do something good for somebody tomorrow. Have a blessed evening, guys. Just remember to question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like a top.
We'll see you soon.
Check out the Easter eggs, guys.